Hi, travelers. Tara here, and I'm back again with the a reading, a general. This is a general reading. It is going to be for what could be possibly coming up around the eclipse, the solar eclipse of September 1st. Before I get started, I had said to you, I don't know, some videos ago, excuse me, that I was going to do a reading on the election, and I have since decided against that. Simply because I don't even want that energy on my cards. I don't. And it's not worth me getting another deck of cards just to read for the election. It is complete and utter chaos, and it is the height of ridiculousness. Now, I'm not going to give you my views on either candidate, but this is what I will say. This is my soapbox for the day, then I'm going to get off of it. Remember that should you choose to vote, and for those of you who think that really your vote doesn't matter, it's imperative that you do get out and vote. Okay, one way or the other. But in casting your vote, whomever is elected commander-in-chief of this country, this is coming through eclipses. This is the eclipses of karma, destiny, and fate. And whatever is going to be locked in will be locked in for a very, very long time. So remember that whomever the commander-in-chief will be in effect making choices that will dictate the karma of our nation. And I want you to think about that very, very carefully. I'm not advocating one candidate over the other. I just want you to consider that statement. It is that person will be making choices, and that's how karma is created. It is through choices. That person will be making choices that will dictate the karma of this nation for a very long time. Okay, that's my soapbox. I'm getting off of it. So now, I have with me several decks of cards here. I was trying to light my sage and sweetgrass to try to draw in and make the atmosphere a little more conducive to bringing in messages. You know, I was talking to Lauren Kay the other night, and I love her. I had her do a reading for me. I love her. And I was telling her, you know, I do readings, and then, you know, right after I'm done, I don't know what the hell I said. And she goes, well, you know, that's channeling. And I've never looked at it like that. She goes, that's the highest order of psychic ability. And I thought, wow, because I was always assuming that I didn't have channeling abilities. But that's really what happens. I give a reading, even here, and in personal readings. And as soon as I'm done with it, it's like I have no clue what I said. So I was a little shocked by that. What we're going to do, we're going to bring out the Hidden Lotus spread today. I'm not sure if I want to use these Casanovas. I'm just kind of playing around with them until the message comes to me about which deck of cards I should use. I wanted to use a different deck, but I'm being led to use the Radiant White deck. And I think the message that I'm getting is that perhaps by using this deck of cards, that the messages will be clearer in order that more people perhaps can understand or resonate whatever the cards have to, what message they have to bring forth. Bear with me 1 second, please. Bear with me. I keep losing stuff. And typically when I can't keep up with things, that's my guides trying to get my attention on something. So either that or it's old age. Senior moments. Okay, so anyway, God, I just tickled myself. Hold on. So I'm going to go ahead and put down the Radiant White deck, Hidden Lotus spread, and then I have the Sibyllus here for some clarification, and also the Neapolitans for further clarification. I want to welcome all of my new subscribers. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. You can also subscribe to my website. It is a website/blog, and that is where sometimes I make announcements. I also post articles. You do not have to join. You simply can sign up through email, and that way you will be notified of every new post that comes out. I don't do a lot of blogging or posting. One of my clients said, you know, we waiting for you to say more things, and I'm still on the fence about that. In my past life, I dispensed a lot of information. I kind of get the feeling that I was more of a preacher, so to speak, and I don't want to be a preacher. I just simply want to channel the messages. I don't want to, it's kind of funny because I don't like having the responsibility of having people take my words truly to heart. That's a very, very heavy responsibility. But at the same time, I would like what I say to at least make people think, okay? And I think that a lot of people don't do a lot of deep thinking. I don't mean that in a negative sense. I just mean that when I mean deep thinking, I mean thinking in terms of the mystical, the esoteric, the spiritual realm. I don't think a lot of people do a lot of heavy thinking about that. So anyway, I'll get off that soapbox, and we're going to start with the Hidden Lotus spread. So here we go. We're asking the cards to give us some indication of what is going to be coming up around the eclipse, the solar eclipse of September 1st, just a few weeks away here. This is a general reading, and the messages will not resonate with everyone. Well, okay, and the cards are Justice, the Magician, the Six of Cups, the Devil, the Knight of Coins, the Five of Wands, the Page of Cups, the Hierophant, the Queen of Swords, and underneath the deck I have the Page of Swords. Now, the Knight of Coins came out first, and this is going to be our focus card. He touches every card in the spread. And the Knight of Pentacles represents some type of message or gift coming on the material plane, or that will be related on the material plane, or that can be seen, something tangible. It also speaks to something that has been a long time in coming, so to speak, because this is the slowest Knight of the deck. Knight represents persistence, determination, perseverance, slow, plodding behavior, perhaps finding success in doing things the tried and true way. Maybe it's taking a long time for you to reach that particular point or goal or whatever that is, but that through that persistent, patient, dedicated, determined effort, there will be some type of message or news or offer or gift coming your way. Now, Justice here has shown up. And we also have, with the planetary influence, this is Libra, this is Mercury, this is Taurus, this is Saturn. We have Jupiter. We've had the transit of Jupiter going on in Virgo. And Virgo, Jupiter will be leaving Virgo September 9th. And it will be moving into the sign of Libra. The Jupiter return happens every 12 years for each sign. So coming up September 9th, Jupiter will be residing, coming into the sign of Libra, and will be in Libra for a full year. Then it will move on to Scorpio. So any of you Scorpions out there that are like, damn, when I'm going to catch a break, it's coming, okay? And basically, Jupiter is known as the greater benefic. And what Jupiter does is it comes in to help you grow and expand, to learn new things. It presents you with all kinds of opportunities. The flip side of that is if you're not careful with that energy, you can live life so fully that it'll end up being to your detriment. Balance. But Justice also comes in to say that those of you who've been behaving and acting rationally and fairly, ethically and morally will be compensated. Cheaters and liars, okay, will be caught out. Now, we come over to Mercury. And we are in the shadow retrograde phase of Mercury going direct. Mercury going retrograde. Mercury will be going retrograde August 30th. Now, to me, this is really quite an odd thing because it is going to be falling between eclipses. As a matter of fact, Mercury will not be coming out of full retrograde status until October 7th. So that means we had this almost eclipse August 18th. We have a solar eclipse on September 1st, one on September 16th. And then that's the end of the eclipses for 2016. But Mercury still has a full month almost before he comes back into direct status. Now, what happens typically under a Mercury retrograde is we know that there can be misunderstandings and miscommunications and the breakdown of things, mechanical things, cars, toasters, phones. I've been having all kinds of issues with my electronics. I have a double Mercury. And so I'm, I think a lot of people perhaps may be experiencing this. If you haven't kind of take notice of people misunderstanding you, this could also be you speaking to people and not being able to get your message across or feeling as though you're being misunderstood. But at the same time, what happens with Mercury is that because he is considered to be the messenger of the gods, what happens is sometimes people who are doing things that they shouldn't be, this stuff comes to light. And in one respect, we could see some of this crap that's happening in the election. Every day there's a little bit more stuff coming to light. And so this is, to me, balanced or counterbalanced with Justice. Please try to remain above board in all of your actions and your thoughts and your communications and your endeavors, because if not, you're going to be caught out. This could also apply to someone you're dealing with. So it could be that someone is kind of, I don't know, you got a suspicion about something, kind of wait it out because eventually it will be coming to light. Justice is a karma card. And we know that karma is, as I've been explaining, karma is only created through the choices that you make. Even going back to past life situations or past life situations. This is the card of childhood, home, nostalgia, sentimentality. It is also known to some as the soulmate card or sometimes the twin flame card. But these things are brought about because there were past life situations that were not resolved and they're being brought forward into the present life. If this is something that is happening in the present life timeline, this is still a situation from your past that is perhaps coming around again. We know that Mercury retrograde can bring back old friends, old lovers, old family members that you ain't talked about or seen in a long time. And typically through a Mercury retrograde, it's a chance for you to make a different choice. And typically these things don't last. Now here I have the devil. And the devil represents Capricorn. He represents Saturn. And he also represents the earthly plane. Okay? The material world. But the devil can also speak to karmic situations, relationships and situations that you feel you cannot extricate yourself from. It can speak to addictions. It speaks to limitations, restrictions, a feeling that no matter what you do, you can't get ahead or you can't get away or you can't catch a break. But this is a perception in one respect. And I say that because if you can look at the two people at the base of the devil that are chained to the base of the devil there, they have chains that are loosely around their necks. And in order to break away from a situation, simply sometimes all you have to do is just remove that yoke from around your neck and decide, I choose to be free. Now, I know that these something, depending on what it is, that's not easy. But the truth of the matter is that it can be done. And I want you to look closely at the way these two cards mirror each other. This represents the spiritual plane, and this represents the earthly plane, but it is still the same image. They have both the same, holding up the same hands, holding up basically the same sign. That is the sign of, it kind of represents having access to knowledge. This is knowledge on the earthly plane. This is knowledge from the spiritual plane. He has a chain, a lock, a thing at the base of his, saying that this can keep you stuck in places. He has the keys, which are secret knowledge, being able to unlock the knowledge that you need perhaps to break free from this situation. He has acolytes. In other words, he has a responsibility to disseminate the knowledge that he receives from the spiritual plane out to these people. He's simply making these people aware of what their limitations, their desires, and their passions are, and perhaps getting people to recognize that, yes, these things can be fun and they can be great, and sometimes you need to do those things, but to be cautious, because those things that make you feel good could turn out to be things that are not good for you. Now, in a sense, what I'm getting is that for some of you, this is indeed a past relationship issue that has come about. This can be a work relationship. It could be a familial relationship. It could be a romantic relationship. It could be a friendship relationship. And I say that because I pretty much have all of the suits here represented: the wands, the swords, the cups, the coins. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4 major arcanas. And this cup. And this is a surprise offer coming in, or some kind of news that comes in that surprises you. Falling in line here with the Justice says that karma has dictated that this is the time to come back around. Okay. The Devil says that it is indeed some type of past life issue or situation from the past, one that perhaps you thought you had broken free of, but that has reared its ugly head again, or that this is literally a karmic past life situation, particularly here with the 6 of Cups. Now, the Magician who comes in, and he has the ability to create reality using his mind. This is also the card of manifestation. So this could be, if some of you have not heard from that past lover or that past friend or that past family situation or that past situation that you thought, this kind of represents that it's going to be coming back around. You will be hearing, because you're thinking about it. Maybe that person, somebody you ain't thought about in years, just kind of pops in your head and up they show up. So this is the card of manifestation. It is the start of something new. Okay, this is going to take you on a new journey. And I can see that for some of you, this could be an offer of traveling, perhaps for financial reasons. Perhaps some of you have been considering quitting your job and starting your own home-based business or becoming an entrepreneur. We do know maybe you tried it before and it didn't quite work, or you have people telling you you can't do it, or you haven't been able to get the loan or the financing or the backing that you need this way. Now, this is, I think, to me, the most interesting line, and it is Justice, the Knight of Coins, and the Queen of Swords. And in effect, justice is the sword of truth. And what it says is that no matter how the situation plays out, it is going to be just and fair. So for some of you, this could literally be some type of legal settlement that you're waiting on here. You're going to be getting the news. Finally, it's going to be coming. Here we have the Queen of Swords. This is the energy of the Queen. This Queen could be speaking to some type of professional if you've needed some type of consultation. If you don't and you're going into a legal situation, please try to make sure that you're going to get someone who's going to be acting above board, someone who doesn't have a shady history. Remember, we talk about Mercury retrograde. People can do things that with this devil card. Make sure you don't just got somebody who's charging you an exorbitant amount of fees and telling you that they're the greatest in the world, because that's not true. And you don't want to be caught out near the end. But this Queen also represents being in the space of having the clarity to communicate what you need, being able to look at truths, inviting and courting the truth to come in, okay? Wanting to get to the bottom of things. And as you can see here in the background, we have this blue color. And the Queen of Swords represents someone who operates more on a mental plane than on an emotional plane. And if you want somebody to go to bat for you, you want somebody who can be kind of ruthless, you know, that's not going to allow emotion to dictate whatever it is that they've got to do. But you see the clouds here, and these clouds are white, and they represent purity of thought. So you want to make sure that whatever actions you take or whatever decisions you make, that you're coming from a pure place, that these thoughts and these ideas and these things are not manipulative, because karma will come back and get you. Now, I can see as well here across the center, we have the Devil and the Knight of Pentacles. And this is literally feeling stuck. Finally, perhaps the energy is becoming freed up where you finally feel like you can move along. But as you can see, there's still some kind of chaos surrounding whatever this is you're trying to bring up or do or move forward with. You could be fighting with someone if this is a legal issue. You have been perhaps, and this kind of tells me that the fighting perhaps will continue. So be very conscious of your thoughts, because as above, so below. And to remain in the space of that Queen. Do not allow your emotions to overtake your thoughts so that you can move through this. This could be arguments about children. This could be in a workplace, everybody trying to put their 2 cents worth in. This could be some chaos. This could be perhaps that old crappy ass boss that nobody liked, that wasn't doing their job, is finally going to get the news he's finally going to be leaving, but that threw everything else in an upheaval. You know, it could be anything where you felt restricted. Just know that moving through this eclipse, that there is going to be some more chaos coming, okay? And I feel that if you are able to juxtapose your emotions with your feelings, okay, and in a sense, the Hierophant is kind of saying, yes, you need to find some kind of balance. Now, this card represents institutions, corporations, colleges, any place there is a hierarchical structure. It also represents marriages and the social norms of doing the right thing. So for some of you, this could be a decision, a divorce, a separation. This could even be about getting married. Are you getting married out of love, or are you getting married because the person has the finances that you need to do what it is that you need to do? Remember, the decisions, what the cards are saying is, whatever decisions that you make sure that you're making the decisions from the truth, and that you are being honest about your reasons of why you're making that decision. And it speaks to some news coming in. Now, I want to take some Sibilas. For some of you, this could literally be down the center, that there might be some type of union on the horizon, that perhaps some of you have felt as though you have met your soulmate. You definitely feel that there is some type of otherworldly connection or past life connection with this person. For some of you, this realization may be slow in coming, okay? But nevertheless, it's coming. For some of you, you are afraid of it. For some of you, you may think that this past lover really is your soulmate, but you know damn well the way that they treated you and the way they behave is not good for you, which is why I'm very cautious about using the term of soulmate with that Six of Cups card, because soulmate relationships or twin flame relationships are some of the hardest relationships you'll ever, and it's designed to break a karmic cycle that you have with the person. It is designed to free you up so that you can go to the next level, the next spiritual level. And some of you may be fighting this, okay? You know, eclipses hide things. And what I find interesting is that there's no card in here that speaks to me really of an eclipse. Now, I was reading something earlier, and, you know, people are like, well, when is this going to, and hold on one second, because there's something I ran across in the tarot. And I don't like to give timing in the simple sense that timing is relative in the universe. Now, what I don't see is I'm not looking necessarily at any major delays or major halts. I say that without knowing what's underneath this Knight of Coins. But what I see is that this is a stop-start kind of a situation. And since this is going to be our overall energy, and it speaks to receiving some type of news or learning something, some kind of message coming through, and just for some, we could say that this might be coming in a few weeks, this news, but could extend all the way out to the spring. And as I was saying to you, eclipses can hide things until 3 months to 3 years after. And if we go into September, October, November, December, we will be about to be moving into the springtime. I do have these two swords here. Let me see. Let me go back because they were saying something about the court cards. I don't think there's any timing really associated with the court cards. Let me see here. I have to get the book. So, well, and if we want to give it an astrological timing, since it ends with the two swords, it starts with the swords, it ends with the two swords here, then we're looking at time frames of either the months of Gemini, Libra, and or Aquarius, okay? And whatever that means. So I just want to make sure. This is an excerpt from a book that I'm taking. And know that because these are ending with court cards, what this is this is going to be decisions and actions based upon someone else, okay? I've got to order that book. I thought it was very, very interesting. I've been reading a few excerpts, and that's what I do. The donations that come into me, I take the donations and I purchase books and other decks of cards. I'm always learning about the tarot. There's always something new to learn and to experiment with. So let's see, first of all, what this devil is trying to tell us. That's really what I wanted to look at, because whatever this attachment or this limitation or this restriction is, just know that as that energy or those things begin to fall away, as you want to move forward with this new offer, or this new message, or this news that is coming in, there's still going to be some conflict here. But this tells me that for some of you who may be going through this or who recognize the situation, you indeed will be able to have the clarity that you need. The Magician, as above, so below. Stay out of that energy. So this devil, Let's see what the devil's trying to tell us. Is this a thing or a person? What is it telling us? Jealousy, amore, and the reunion. Now, it almost speaks to me as if someone has returned from the past because they've heard that you're trying to move on in whatever manner that means. But it also speaks to the fear. This card can speak to fear, and fear is a limitation. It is a restriction. Um, this could be about those self-doubts that you have, that negative self-talk. It's never going to work. Fear of love and going into a new relationship. But the reason why that is occurring is because it is based upon your experiences with past relationships. Make sense? Let's look at the Six of Cups and see if this can, because for some of you, this could really also be about a familial situation that has come up. You know, like I said, sometimes with family, you don't need enemies. Fedelta. This is about loyalty. Past loyalties. Past. Present time. Or a loyalty that is being brought over from a past. That's what Akashic records are for. I can go in and look at those kind of connections between people. It is a past life loyalty connection that is brought over, perhaps why you feel you can't get away from that person. Domestico. This is the collaborator. This is, in other words, what the cards are saying to me is that this is really your cohort. This is the meeting of your cohort from a past situation or a past life situation. But the Domestico is kind of a sleazy character. He may do one thing and say another, say one thing and do another. He may be bringing messages back and forth between two people. What is his interest in that? But it can also speak to someone returning. Look, from a visit or a trip. Now, I just did the, what do you call that? The experimental, and we saw this card come up. So this is either, it is the return of a past life or a past lover, okay? And someone perhaps going back, returning back to that past loyalty, okay? And not quite being sure, there's something not quite right with that. I don't care what, however I interpret that, the Domestico is kind of a sleazy character. So maybe this could also be a warning for some of you that whomever this person is that is returning back, be very, very cautious in terms of how you deal with them. Remember I said during Mercury retrograde, things can come to light, and that, you know, if you're not acting in an upright, ethical manner with someone, it's going to come back to haunt you. Justice says so. Let me look, because these three cards are trying to tell me something else. The message is, because this is speaking about sentimentality and nostalgia, here, Kwasa, be cautious of your thoughts, because literally thinking about someone can bring them back. Literally. Let's look at the Five of Swords here. Fighting, conflicts. It's almost saying that a sense, in the past, this someone helped this Lanamika. And if this is speaking to, and this is going to be for either a male, this could be a male returning and a female returning. So this is going to hit both sides, whether you are same sex or heterosexual. So for the same sex, whomever's going to take the return of the male or whomever's going to take the return of the female. Okay. Again, this could be someone from your past, but it could also be someone who is thwarting whatever it is you're trying to do, and whatever you need help with. This person really doesn't have your best interest at heart. And this card, the La Superbia, speaks to arrogance and haughtiness. And this could be someone's behavior. Maybe this person has, in the past, you know that this person has a tendency or proclivity for creating chaos and drama. Okay? But for whatever reason, this person has come back, and perhaps already they have started creating some drama. It's done because they are more concerned with themselves. They're showing their true colors. You already know this. And I don't think this is anything that you can help. Okay? I think already if you recognize this situation, you know that. This makes me want to understand what the Hierophant is all about. News coming through. This is the letterato, the man of letters. So this is someone who deliberates and thinks quite deeply about things. It can speak to someone who may have a role as a professor or a teacher of some sort, someone who can dispense information, or he can simply just be a student of life. But this is a person who's thinking deeply about a bond that has now presented itself. And I think that's what this Knight of Pentacles is talking about. Because if we go back to the experimental that I did with the Sibila, we saw that there was a male contemplating some type of changes in his life. And then we have the Lamante, the female lover. And again, same sex or heterosexual, whomever's going to take the role of the male or the female. And this is in the future position over this Hierophant. And this could be literally someone contemplating whether or not they want to move forward in a new bond. Because again, this card represents marriages, but this is someone giving great thought to it. And perhaps because this is the realm of higher knowledge, that signs and synchronicities are coming through, and the return of this other person is because perhaps they've gotten wind that you've got somebody else new on the horizon for you. The news. Wow. Now. Justice. And this is what this relates to. Justice. Because the cards are the Mercante, the Dileranti, the Amalato. So someone is not going to be getting the news that they want, or someone is going to regret the decision that they make. That's more like it. And this could be that they are still paying for the consequences of a past agreement or contract that they had before. They know now that it really was the wrong thing, and they are still in the space of trying to get over that. And that could be why you don't get the news that you want. It's because the person still has some work to do. Okay? Doesn't necessarily mean that it's not going to play out in your favor. Remember I said I didn't see any cards of like delays, but to me that kind of reads like a delay. Now let's see what's underneath here. Well, that's a yes card. So whatever your question is, I'm not going to speculate on whether you're going to hear from that person and you're going to hear what you want to hear, or whether you're not going to hear it, or they're going to dash your hopes. I'm just going to say that this is an answer, the yes card, to whatever the question is that you have. Okay? This is about cutting through the clarity of really recognizing a situation for what it is and having the ability to finally see something for what it is. Three cards of the Sword of Truth. That's what I have for you. I hope that message helped you. This was for the eclipse coming up September 1st, 2016. And until next time, namaste.